Welcome back to L.A.M.E Creations and our series on mastering Splunk SPL. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive into another essential command for your toolkit. We're going to be using the bots v3 dataset to look at several practical examples of how this command works, the syntax behind it, and most importantly, why you would actually use it, whether you're in cybersecurity or IT operations. Now, a quick heads up before we start. This video is designed to teach you the fundamentals of the specific command in isolation, but in the real world, the true power of Splunk comes from chaining these commands together to solve complex problems. If you are looking to move beyond the basics and want to see how to combine these commands into advanced queries that show true mastery of the language, I have a comprehensive course available. I've dropped the link in the description below. That version of the course takes these concepts to the next level. But for now, let's get into the data and see how this command works. Rename command, clarifying your data fields. In this module, we'll explore the rename command in Splunk, a straightforward yet powerful tool that allows you to change the names of fields within your search results. This command is incredibly helpful to making fields easier to understand, aligning them with reporting standards, or resolving naming conflicts, ultimately enhancing the clarity and usability of your data. We'll explore its capabilities using the versatile boss of the SOC, Bots v3 dataset. By the end of this module, you'll learn how to efficiently rename fields for better readability, standardize field names across diverse data sources, and prepare your data for clearer analysis and reporting in both cybersecurity and IT operations. The rename command in Splunk Processing Language is used to change the name of one or more fields in your search results. This is particularly useful when original field names are abbreviated, inconsistent across different log sources, or simply not intuitive for your audience. By renaming fields, you make your data more accessible, improve report readability, and ensure consistency when combining or presenting information. This is going to be far quicker than I've done in my other examples because the examples basically spell out the use cases, I hope. So I won't be going through a lot of use cases, but I will be giving a few examples. So for our first query, we're going to talk about the following. Query 1 is renaming source and destination IPs for clarity. As you can see here, we've got source src underscore IP, dest underscore IP. For somebody reading this information, it's not as clear what that might mean. If you live in these logs all the time, you get used to those terms, but it's kind of helpful. So we just kind of rename these. And then we're going to just do a stats. And now note, as soon as you rename this field, anything afterwards, you must refer to the name of that field by the new name. So if I were to do stats count by src underscore IP, this would fail because this field no longer exists as soon as the rename occurs. Let's go ahead and see that in action. I'm going to run that. Now we have a nice statistical table with a name that's a little more obvious what it actually is for those who don't know what they're doing. Think of these primarily for reporting purposes. So I'm going to briefly cover the use cases for this, and I'm not going to do that for pretty much any of the other examples. Why a cybersecurity analyst would use this query? Create executive-ready reports. When building a dashboard or report for a manager, a CISO, or another team using clear names like source underscore IP instead of cryptic abbreviations like src underscore IP makes the data instantly understandable and more professional. You can also use it to standardize field names. Different security tools and log sources often use different names for the same thing. Examples: client underscore IP, source underscore address, source underscore IP. An analyst uses rename to standardize these into a single consistent field name, allowing them to search and analyze data from multiple sources together. Prepare for data model acceleration. When preparing data to be used in a Splunk data model, fields often need to be renamed to match the model's requiring naming convention. Again, I want to make sure you recognize this rename is not permanent. If you want to make that permanent, you are going to have to use aliases, and that's not from the command line. It's going to be done through up here in settings, aliases, fields, and then you'll have aliases. This is not a permanent, but if you're looking to see if the stuff fits in and stuff like that, there are reasons why you do some renaming there. Non-cybersecurity analysts would use it to improve business dashboards and user-friendly data exploration. I hope those are relatively straightforward. Anyway, so let's just move on to the next query. Our next query is to rename HTTP fields for better context. Here we're using the stream HTTP. We got URI path, user agent. We're just going to rename them into something a little more friendly. Instead of saying HTTP user, we'll use browser user agent, URI path, etc. This query takes the original technical field names and renames them to a more descriptive, user-friendly name. So we can see that in action. This query here is almost identical to what we've already done, but we're going to take, this query takes firewall logs, renames the abbreviated field names src underscore port and dest underscore port to more descriptive ones such as source underscore port and destination underscore port. Run that all time. We can see that in action. A little more, again, it's a lot about making your data become a little easier to read and for appearances and dashboarding. We can do the same thing with this underscore time. That doesn't always make a lot of sense, so we just flip it here to event time. And now it's got a much nicer display name. Our fifth query is again just renaming fields that don't make a lot of sense, such as we have the keywords. And if you look at it, when we pull back its results, you're going to see that they're not exactly very clear what those are from the terms. If you just saw keywords, you wouldn't recognize it's audit failure and audit success classic. And so we're just going to rename it to audit results. Our sixth query will be renaming fields for reporting purposes. We've already kind of given that, but this query takes network connection logs, renames the bytes in and bytes out fields to be more descriptive, and then calculates the total inbound and outbound data volume for each unique connection. So we've done the rename, but we can also use this stat sum as, this is basically a rename as well. This is going to say whatever the value of this is, rename it to be total inbound. The sum of the outbound bytes, name that field total outbound. So we could run that. And we'll see our source IP, destination IP, total inbound, total outbound. In this module, we've thoroughly explored the rename command, a simple yet incredibly impactful tool for improving the clarity and consistency of your data in Splunk. You've learned how rename allows you to transform abbreviated or inconsistent field names into descriptive, user-friendly labels, which is crucial for creating professional reports, standardizing data from diverse sources, and avoiding naming conflicts when correlating information. Mastering rename is essential for making your Splunk analysis more accessible and effective for both cybersecurity investigations and general IT operations. And that wraps up our look at that specific command. Hopefully you now have a clear idea of the syntax and how to apply it to your own data to extract better insights. As I mentioned at the start, this is just one piece of the puzzle. While knowing how this command works is critical, the difference between a good analyst and a great one is the ability to string multiple commands together to tell a story with your data. If you're ready to take the next step and learn the art of chaining these commands for advanced analysis, be sure to check out the full course linked in the description below. Getting it through that link on lamecreations.com is the best way to support the channel and ensures I can keep giving this free content to you. If you found this video helpful, please hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next part of the series. Thanks for watching and happy splunking.